Hi, Amanda Pinkerman here today with the Pinklight project on Making a Difference TV. Today I want to share and discuss with you the methodology of Somatic Cellular Release therapy. It's a therapy that I offer to clients, and I feel right now in the midst of the chaos, this may be the perfect answer for you or for someone you know. So first I just want to start with what is somatic. And somatic is of the body, pertaining to any cell within the body that isn't a germ. Cellular memory, I am going to share here with you my blog where I have available on my blog, amandapinkerman.com. I wrote a paper back in 2012 about this therapy that I practice and I was trained in. And so I'm going to share that here on the screen so you can see that. And I'm just going to read directly from there. One second while I navigate this. Okay, cellular memory is the complete blueprint of your existence. Each point within your cellular memory contains all of the information of the whole. This information is infinitely accessible to each and every cell of your body. If you magnify your cells down to your atoms, you can see that you are made up of subtle bundles of info energy. This info energy is comprised of physical, mental, and emotional data that comes from all of your life experiences, genetic heritage, and past generations. Nothing we experience escapes being imprinted into our cellular hologram in the form of a cellular memory. What we commonly refer to as the cellular memory is the collective energy field generated by these individual cell memories. It operates behind the scenes of our subconscious mind. Cellular memory predisposes or programs you to perceive and behave a certain way as thoughts and feelings are made manifest within your consciousness. Stored within the cellular memory are all the conscious and unconscious patterns of behaviors. The unproductive patterns impair our ability to feel well, happy, healthy, attain our goals, and fulfill our destiny. And this is by Diaz. It was written in 2010, and it's actually on cellularmemory.org. So that's what I start to dig into, is that aspect of your body in the cellular memory of your being. So now two things take place here, and I'm going to go back in and I'll highlight again in my paper here. But two things are taking place. What I see first within the soul is that there's a fragmentation of the soul. And I'll go back and share my screen. Bear with me today as I try to become an expert here doing this. Okay. So I see two things that take place. The first here is from Carol K. Truman's book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And if you follow my YouTube channel, then you know that this is one of my favorite books and one of the tools that I suggest to everybody. So I'm just highlighting here what I'm going to read. It says, when we are created, our DNA is perfect. Now, I do believe that to be true, but I believe it to be inverted. And I can get to this later. As we experience trauma, an energetic band wraps around the DNA, distorting it. Over time, these bands create tentacles that wrap up through our spine, covering all of our DNA, thus distorting it further. I explain these bands and tentacles as an energetic parasite that is existing solely off of your deep-rooted, unresolved emotions. Once this happens, we no longer have a sense of the perfection that already is within us because it is so deep under all of these traumatic experiences, we lose touch with who we truly are and why we are here. So that is the first thing that I think takes place. And then what I see energetically is this. When we experience a traumatic event, our soul fragments. So I made this diagram here showing you all the fragments of the soul. And so when we have an experience, a piece of us kind of gets stuck in space. And actually I say it goes into darkness, so it disengages from the light. So not only does an energetic band wrap around our DNA, but the pieces of us that experience the traumatic event fragment from our soul and disconnect from the light. It is though this inner child of ours falls down a well and can no longer see the light or any possible way of escape. The only way the inner child knows how to get our attention is to attract events that are similar to the initial experience. In doing so, the inner child is hoping to be seen, heard, allowed to feel what it couldn't at the time, and then released and pulled up out of the well and ultimately integrated back into ourself. So along with that, I actually recently had watched something that really was profound for me, and she was talking about the fragmentation of the soul. And I was like, what? Are you kidding? Like, someone else is talking about this. I wrote this back in 2012. So it's talking about having the intention of integrating these fragments back to us. And the way that it works in the current paradigm, experience, reality, hologram, illusion, call it whatever you want, that we are in, these fragments are actually used against us. And they are operating at an unconscious level for us because we don't realize that they're part of us ultimately, but they are in some ways attacking us. So this is when we have these negative patterns or bad things keep happening to us. It's coming from these fragments that have separated from us. So the work is about bringing those fragments back together. So fragments are used against us to keep us ensnared in an endless loop of trauma and victimhood. This keeps our vibrational frequency low and holds us in a place of dis-ease. So we are not in perfection at this point. We are in dis-ease, which I guess when you bring that together, we can be in disease. So what my understanding and my belief is that everything happens first on the etherical level of our being. And when we are not processing it properly, when we get disconnected from properly processing that within our being, we start to manifest it physically as an ailment within the body. And this is one of the tools that I use, helping you to overcome chronic pain within the body. This is the practice that I used and I continue to use to this day to overcome chronic pain in my body. So what I want to show here, I'm going to share another picture with you of the emotional guidance scale. So I'm just going to put that right here in the center and make it a little bit bigger so you can see this. So here's the emotional guidance scale. And when we are holding emotions in our cellular being, we can be here at the bottom in this victimhood mentality. And I believe that's where a lot of humanity currently sits, in this powerlessness, this victimhood, depression, fear, grief. Fear is pushed on us from all angles, and I can get into later why that's occurring, but it really isn't essential for us to know why at this point. It's just a matter of becoming aware that it is happening, and we want to rise up to over here, kind of at the top of the spiral. So here's another chart I want to share. And so this emotional guidance scale, I like to equate it to a tornado. So if we were at the bottom of the tornado, what's going on at the bottom of the tornado? Well, it's incredibly chaotic. It's spinning super fast, and it's the most destructive aspect. So right down here, we've got shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. So all of that is down here in this contracted consciousness. And when we're in a contracted consciousness, we're experiencing separation. We are in this singular aspect. And this is what keeps us disengaged, disconnected from source, from prime creator, from the universe, from all that is. And really, this is where the powers that be want us to be existing. But we are clearly in this time of great awakening. And our goal is to get up here into ultimate consciousness. So when we exist and we are experiencing life at the top of the tornado, it's not as chaotic, right? Things are more balanced. They're more in harmony. And we have a much more peaceful existence. And we're in this expanded state of consciousness where we are understanding that consciousness is unity. It's our collective consciousness with one another, that we are all connected, and what I do to you affects me directly. So this is really a major part of what my goal is when doing this therapy, is bringing you out of that bottom of the funnel where we are chaotically experiencing life, and bring you up to the top of this funnel so that you are in a more balanced, peaceful existence with yourself, with life, with your experiences. So when we are operating at the base of the guidance scale, we are more than likely living in a victimhood mentality, seeing ourselves as victims of everything that is happening to us. This can range from what is happening to us directly with friends, with family, with relationships, events, occurrences, experiences, leading up to the thinking that we are victims of the system, victims of the corporatocracy, victims of the government, victims of world policy. We can get into being victims of the cabal, victims of the Illuminati, victims of the reptilians or the Anunnaki, victims of the banking system. This is all just an illusion to keep us locked in place at the lower vibrational frequency so that we are controllable as a species and not aware of our own powers of creation. Ultimately, we are creators, and currently we are creating from an unconscious state. So when we aren't aware of why things are happening to us, and maybe you just keep slamming your head against that wall and you think over and over that you're a victim of, nothing good ever happens to me, and bad things come, and my life's frustrating, and everything's annoying, or I can't make money, I can't get out of what I'm doing, I'm unhappy. You actually are creating that reality with your thoughts. You are an incredibly powerful being, and you create more than you're aware of. It's just that we are creating from an unconscious state. So when we start to take ownership and we go through this 12-week process of the Somatic Cellular Release therapy, we start to become aware. And what I really do is I take you through your body, and it's really a meditative practice. I give you tools and homework each week to work on, bringing things to the consciousness, removing cords, energetic fields, energetic connections, burning contracts, releasing commitments to the universe, and writing new commitments. So when we think of the cellular being as coding, and we are really this amazing, magnificent computer, and the cells are the coding that are putting out the messages to the universe, and the universe is just responding, good, bad, or indifferent. Energy is energy. It just responds to what we're putting out there, whether we are aware that we're putting out there or not. What we can do is we can rewrite that coding within our being, and now our life experience changes overnight. You literally could be having a massive argument with somebody, and you and I would sit down and do a session and just do the tools that I would utilize. You may find that the next day you and that person actually have no issue with one another, and you didn't even have a conversation. And that's because the trigger that was within you has now become conscious within you, and you've shifted it so it no longer irritates you. You're no longer frustrated or upset by it. It doesn't make you angry. And here's the most amazing part, is that really everybody we come into experience with is just a mere reflection to provide us a view into what is going on within each of us. I know that that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to come to terms with, because you want to be like, I'm not responsible for this. I didn't create this. Why would I do this to myself? Or why would I want this in my life? And it's not that you consciously went out and did that. It's that you didn't realize that you are such a powerful creator, and that the universe is just going to respond to you, good, bad, or indifferent, because everything is energy. And when we're talking about energy and raising our frequency, we can go out there and we can fight the powers that be, but what are you doing when you are fighting against the chemtrails, or you're fighting against the bank corruption, the political corruption, the pedophilia, the elite, you name it, the military-industrial complex? You're actually giving them energy because you're presenting yourself in a space of anger. And when you come at it with anger, you're feeding the beast, because the beast loves anger. That's what it's here to create. It's called loosh, and it actually thrives. These energetic beings, they're parasitic type of beings. They exist off of energy frequencies, okay, that are low on the emotional guidance scale. So let me pull that up again so we can all see what exactly it is that's getting fed off of. So here, these lower vibrational frequencies, if you, maybe it's a lot to get into all this, but really the beings that kind of are in control here are fourth and fifth density negative beings, and they are on a path of service to self. And in that path of service to self, which is the negative path, they actually thrive and live off of these lower vibrational frequencies. So when they can get our entire population living down here at this point of separation, not realizing that we are all connected and all one, they are able to exist quite comfortably. So the idea is that if you really want to go out there and you want to make a change on this planet, if you want to change the way things are going, the direction we are headed, if you are worried about the change in the climate, if you're worried about just humanity, the survival of the species, what you need to do is to work on your personal vibrational frequency. And the higher you raise your frequency, the higher the earth can raise to meet all of us collectively. So I honestly believe that this is the path forward. This is how we heal. We can't go at all the issues that make us angry with this anger and frustration, because that isn't doing anything to fix the problem. It's actually feeding the problem. So I want to change the world. I'm pretty sure if you've shown up here on my channel, you want to change the world. And we can do that collectively together with one another. And this is a tool that I'm using to help you raise your personal vibrational frequency. We can remove that set you off, upset you, frustrate you, get you living in that lower part of the tornado. And we can move you up to those higher aspects of the frequencies within you. So if I'm going to share my screen real quick here again so we can really take a look where we want to be on this guidance scale. So present to everybody. Sorry, my screen is taking all these flashes. All right, so I actually worked with somebody yesterday, and she was like, this chart is so enlightening. And I was showing her how she was kind of down here, you know, and she wanted to hold on to her anger. And she's like, I had to keep reminding myself while I'm angry. And I'm like, well, that's not going to help anybody if you want to stay in your anger. You're really living down here at the base of the tornado. And when I showed her this chart, and she was like, oh my gosh, I know people who live here in passion, enthusiasm, positive expectation, and belief. And this is where I want to live. And I said, you know what? Why don't you print this chart out and put this on the wall so that you have something to look forward to, something to create, something to put out there. It's always our intention of what we want to create, where we want to go, that creates our reality. And of course, it doesn't happen in a day, but it can, because time is speeding up. And if you notice, if we are in conscious control of our thoughts and our intentions, we actually can manifest quite quickly right now. So this is a beautiful chart to have. You can just download it off of the internet. Honestly, just go to Google and type in emotional guidance scale and view images, and it'll come right up for you. And I use it all the time in my practice just to kind of give people clarity and understanding of where are you existing on this emotional guidance scale. So in human form, we have this amazing ability to feel. And we can get esoteric. I can get talking about extraterrestrials or other types of beings. Not everybody has this aspect. All these other beings don't necessarily have this emotional aspect of existence that we have here as human beings in this third density experience. And this truly is a gift. We're here to expand, grow, and create. This is where our soul can play in the dark and the light. We have a choice to make whether we are going to choose the positive path or the negative path. And there's many lessons we can learn here. We shouldn't get frustrated with the fact that we have this darkness. I like to see it as this catalyst for opportunity to choose the positive. And the more I choose the positive, the better I'm feeling. So as we're going through these great shifts of energy, as we're going through this great time of change, and I know you're feeling it if you've shown up here, we are going through this mass awakening of humanity, and many felt it would happen sooner than this. I believe we've been in some distortion with some timeline changes constantly kind of pushing us back, but the time is here now. Between 2013 and 2027, everything's going to change in our reality, and we are going to experience it from a better place the higher we are on the emotional guidance scale. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Schumann resonance, but that is the measure of the Earth's heartbeat. It was first discovered in the 1950s by Dr. Schumann and measured in the 1960s. Originally, it was measured at 7.83 hertz. And that is the measurement of the frequency from the base of the Earth, the actual ground that we stand on, to the ionosphere. And that had remained pretty constant. And then in 2012, things really started to heat up and change. 2014, it spiked up over 16 hertz and settled at around about 8.5. My numbers may not be exact. You can go and do your own research. I always say, have your own experience. Don't believe or disbelieve anything I have to say. Go do your research. The more you seek, the more you'll find. And whatever you seek, seeks you. So this Schumann resonance has now been spiking up over, my last understanding in May, it was up over 120. So if the frequency of the Earth is increasing, which it is because we're moving dimensional space, we're moving from the third dimension to the fourth, the Earth is really completing its third round of growth here and ascension, and this planet is moving into another space, a higher dimensional space. So with that being said, what's going to happen if I'm full of anger, frustration, negativity, sorrow, grief, depression, and the frequency of the Earth gets amplified? Well, that's just going to be amplified within me. That's going to get stronger, and I'm not going to understand why that's happening. And I'm going to go more into chaos and experience more of the chaos that's going to be happening here on our planet. But if I'm at a higher vibrational frequency, I'm actually not going to attract that chaotic experience to myself. I'm going to exist in experiences that are more within balance and harmony, and that frequency, which is just kind of, and that's where I want to be. So I firmly believe that we can have and create and be anything we want to be, but if we are unaware of what we are creating and we are unconsciously continuing to live in those lower vibrational frequencies, we really are going to get stuck in the chaos that is coming. So I want to help you, or anyone you know, move into those higher vibrational frequencies by releasing the cellular memories held within your being that are attracting any of your frustrations, your negative experiences, your anger, your sorrow, your depression. And I know this works because I've done it, and all of the people I've done it for, they will rave and tell you that their lives are changed. It's not always an easy process. Sometimes they're more difficult, and sometimes you don't want to show up, but those are the days we're going to have the most expansion and the most growth, and you're going to have the deepest epiphanies. And really, I just want to give you tools to help you heal yourself. So I'll be providing all this to you along the way. I'll be giving you worksheets and things that you'll be able to keep and work with, but I'll always be here to help you one-on-one afterwards. So I wanted to read a little bit about, I'm reading a book from the Palladians by Barbara Masiniak, and this is The Power of Empowerment. And she said, as the vibration of the mass consciousness expands and matures, greater momentum and focus will be gained. The Earth feels these changes. An elevated state of awareness in the collective consciousness of humankind triggers the Earth to unlock and release more of the complete story of time stored within her being. When you are willing to know and face personal truths, and that's really what's in our cellular being, are these personal truths, you contribute to building the frequency of consciousness required to uncover and release the truth of human history. So something that I think is really important to identify here is that humans forget. We just do. We forget. We do not live long lifetimes, maybe 75, 80 years tops. Of course, there are always the anomalies. People are living into their 90s. A couple people make it into the hundreds. But I mean, I don't know about you. I've known several people who've died in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, obviously even their teens or 20s, any age, really. And so we forget. We can easily be manipulated. History can easily be controlled because we really aren't here that long. And a lot of stuff has been hidden from us. But the more we delve into what is within us and we shift that frequency, the earth will rise to meet our new frequency and provide us that history. I mean, I don't know if you are on social media or if you follow any of the I watch Gaia. I don't really watch any mainstream media. I don't believe it. I know it's not true. I know it's all for controlling us and mind control, thought control, social engineering. But they have been unearthing some amazing mosaics, structures, tablets, all kinds of things are rising up out of the earth. And this really has to do with this frequency change that we're going through here on the planet. So there's so much we can get into when we are looking at how to change the planet. And we really need to start within us. So our cells hold all of our wounds, our traumas, and our experiences. And in them, we have to see ourselves as that computer, as I was talking about. And the cells is the coding. And the cells are sending out frequency signals to the universe constantly. Currently, the majority of humanity is creating their reality unconsciously through their cellular system. But with the process of somatic cellular release, I will take you step by step through your body to unravel the tentacles from your cells and your DNA. And when we do this, it'll open you up so that you are now connected to your knowing within. Our Akashic records are actually within us. We don't need to go outside looking for things, although we are all time encoded with triggers that will wake us up, and we all will wake up at different points. I've been on my journey now for 13 years at a minimum. I would say lifetimes, and my soul is infinite, so therefore I haven't even tapped into how many lifetimes I've experienced and in what realms or dimensions I've even experienced them where I've been a healer, but this definitely is my calling in this lifetime. And the more I wake up, the more I remember. And the other day I did a video about a Hempai ceremony I held with a Native American here in my home. And we were sitting and talking, and he had so much knowledge of things that I'm only remembering. And this has been held sacred, handed down generation to generation within their tribe, so it's not been forgotten. But in the Western society, the European society, we've really forgotten everything because it's been hidden. And we haven't treasured our elders and had this storytelling time of holding on to our history with one another. So we have to wake up. We have to become aware. We have to start questioning, and we have to start seeking. And in the seeking, all of the answers truly will come to us. And we have our own rod of discernment within each of us to know whether we feel we are experiencing the truth or not. And we really can start tapping into all this generational information within our own DNA. It is all within us. And the higher the frequency we vibrate at, the more access we have to this information within ourselves. So it is time that we all come together collectively and we all heal our traumas, our wounds, our negative experiences in our being. And if we're feeling exhausted, if we're tapped out from everything that we're trying to be an activist for on this planet, come see me. I'm going to help you heal. If you can't afford my prices, we can look at some other way to help you get what you need. I'm here to help you. And that's my purpose on this planet. I call myself a facilitator of frequency. And in that sense, I am here to facilitate you raising your vibrational frequency, because the more we all collectively do that together, the sooner we are going to ascend out of this chaos. And of course, there's going to be people that aren't going to ascend out of that chaos, and that's okay. That's maybe what their soul requires to experience. There can be no judgment on this path. We all have our own trail, our own experience, our own growth we need to go through. And we really need to respect that everybody is exactly where they need to be. And I know that's been hard for me. I definitely get frustrated and I want to shake you awake. But if I came and threw some cold water on you at 5 in the morning, how do you think you would respond to me? Probably not very positively. There's an excellent description by Socrates about being in a cave. And if you spent your whole life chained up in a cave and you didn't know any different, and I were to unlock those chains and bring you out to the light, that would be overwhelming for you. You would probably cover your eyes. You'd want to go back inside quickly. So when we're trying to shake people awake and show them all this information and make them see what's really going on in the world, yeah, we're probably going to scare them back into their cave. And so we want to do this gingerly. We want them to show up. I want you to make the choice consciously that you are ready to make a change, that you are tired of being where you are, that you are ready to shift, that you want something more. And then call me. We can do it on Skype. I can do it online. We can do it over the telephone. If you're in Southern California, we can do it one-on-one. I have this beautiful studio here. You can come in here. I've got a pyramid over there you'll sit under to amplify the energy. I've got all kinds of crystals and tools and things to use that we can really just move you forward and get you feeling better. If you just want a psychic reading, if you want to have some tarot cards read, I do that. I can do healing just with my hands. I do energy, Reiki. We can just start to shift things in your being, in your body. But I absolutely recommend the Somatic Cellular Release Therapy. If you want to go onto my blog at amandapinkerman.com, in August of last year, 2016, I posted the paper that I wrote. You can read through it. It's a good place to start if you have questions. There's other materials I can provide to you. We can do a free consultation where you experience the therapy. All I can tell you is it's changed my life, and anyone else that I know who's gone through the process, it's absolutely transformed them. They have shifted. They are living consciously and aware. And that, to me, is the path forward. That's how we collectively come together as a species and we change the experience that we're having here on this planet. And then you can go out and be an activist in any way that you want to be, but you're going to be coming from a different perspective where your wounds and your traumas aren't triggering you along the path. And now you're consciously creating, you're consciously being an activist, and you're bringing forth all this positive energy. That's how we're going to move forward. I cannot stress that enough. The beast loves the loosh, and the more we come at this with anger, the more we're just going to perpetuate the system that we're in. So I hope this was helpful today. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm just going to check my little notes here and make sure. Just the last thing I wrote was understanding that this time of change requires us to each individually do our work personally. And as we uncover our truths within, the earth recognizes this energy frequency and reveals more of her secrets to us. Man forgets. Man just forgets. Other species, other beings live much longer than we do. They live in a different experience than our linear time. We can't measure it, nor do we understand it from our state of being. So we do not live very long. It is easy for the powers that are to manipulate our history and convince us that we are victims. When we remember who we are, the earth will confirm this and show us the hidden secrets within. There's so much more to be revealed to us, but first, each of us must uncover our own hidden truths within. And as we do this, we're going to shift the planet, we're going to shift the species, we're going to shift humanity, and we really can move into another dimensional space. When I had that Indian Native American healer angel here last week, I literally felt like the property I live on was moved to dimensional space. So just coming to see me will feel like you are having a spiritual experience, because the property I live on is just vibrating at a higher frequency. I vibrate at a higher frequency. I have actively been pursuing this higher frequency now for years personally. And I want to share it with you. I want to take you to the next level. I want to take you up here with me so that we can all vibrate at the same frequency. I want to shine my pink light on you. I want to bring you into a new dimensional space, and I want to help heal the planet. So please reach out to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you aren't a member of Making a Difference TV, check that out. There's a lot of great programs going on there as well. And I'm just so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful you've shown up. My immense gratitude for Making a Difference TV and Brian Porter for continuing to host the Pinklight Project, and everybody who's just made my life amazing. All of my friends out there who keep encouraging me, and my subscribers. You fill my heart every time you watch a video. Every time I see there's a new view, I just am over the moon. So let's do this together. Let's collectively change the planet. Let's raise your vibrational frequency. Check out my webpage, amandapinkerman.com. See if I can pull it up here for you. Let's see. I got to share my screen, remembering all this. And I'll just show you, I created this new webpage this week. I'm very excited about it. I've spent a bunch of time on it, and I hope that it answers all of the questions that you have. And obviously you can contact me directly. So here's my new page. Talks about clairvoyant readings, life coaching, healing energy therapy. This really is where I'm just working straight out of my hands. When I connect into your body, I can hear patterns, words, thoughts, feelings that the body is holding unconsciously, subconsciously. I can help you be aware of them and move them. I can do Reiki distance healing. This is the Somatic Cellular Release therapy. Are you ready to shift? Are you feeling a need to wake up? Remember who you are, find greater meaning in life. Somatic Cellular Release life coaching is for the individual who seeks greater knowledge of their purpose and passion in this lifetime. Coaching will address emotional patterns that may be hindering or holding you back from realizing your true potential. It will involve identifying energetic blocks within the cellular structure. Through the release of these energetic blocks and lower vibrational emotions from the body and from your cellular structure, you will experience deep healing and a shift in your life experiences. We will tap into your Akashic records by removing the bands of trauma wrapped around each DNA cell within your body, and we will open your library of knowing within. This is a 12-week course that requires a commitment upfront to see the process of healing through. I myself undertook this journey in 2010 and have forever been grateful that I made this commitment to myself. This is available in person here with me in Southern California, or online via Skype, or we can do it over the telephone. I also do a Symphony of Cells, which is a therapeutic oil treatment that's in person. And if you're interested in learning about essential oils, that is my plan to do my next Pinklight project with an essential oil guru and really share that information with you. They all vibrate at high frequencies, and they bring and vibrate the cells back into balance too. So I'm excited to share that. That's my homepage. You can just come on here and you can just book right online, and it breaks down everything that I'm doing. You can come in here and read about me. I tell you a little bit about my story, who I am, what I've gone through. And then I have a couple testimonials here from people that I've worked with. And I have, if you're interested in my blog, I'm always putting up new videos. Obviously, if you're a subscriber, you're getting them, but sometimes I'm writing little articles to go with them. And I'm connecting that all here on my blog. Here's a great one to learn more about the villain, victim, hero triangle that we go through and the fear and where is it coming from. Just some of my different articles I've written. And then if you're interested in essential oils, you can come right in here and you can just click this and it'll take you right into my doTERRA page where you can buy essential oils. So I've got a lot to offer. I really want to get out there now and start working one-on-one with people. I can do it in group sessions too. We can do a group via Skype. We can do a group in person. And sometimes that's great because we're all bringing in our own experiences and we're always going to resonate together. And know that whatever you're working on, if you're with me, I'm working on it too. This is not a journey, like a solo journey. It's a journey of the soul, S-O-U-L. And together, collectively, we are here to help one another. We are here to mirror and project and do this dance with one another to help our souls become more, expand, to everything possible that we can be, and to raise ourselves vibrationally to the next frequency, to that next level, so we can go into that ascension, into that golden age, into that next level of experiencing heaven on earth. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys enjoyed it today. This is the Pinklight Project on Making a Difference TV. And I will be back in August. I'm taking July off, but I will be available for video conference. I'll be available for a telephone conversation, for email, whatever you want to do. Don't hesitate to reach out. All right, have a great day. Thanks for showing up.